What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Samurai Real Sports Network. Now, today is going to be a little bit different than what you guys are usually seeing on my channel, and I got to be straightforward with you guys. This is something that comes down to me being frustrated. Now, I'll give you guys some background info. I am not a huge baseball fan anymore. I was never a huge baseball fan, but I did like baseball. I enjoyed it. I loved playing baseball. I wasn't the best. I played first base for about 2 years, and that's really about it. But I liked baseball. I liked going to games, and it was, always an opportunity for me and my dad to just kind of like enjoy a sport. So always we'd go to basketball games, football games, baseball games, and it was always something where, my dad really liked baseball, so I wanted to really like baseball as well. As a little kid there or something like that. But it actually got to the point where I really enjoyed it. The same with basketball and the same with football. My dad taught me one thing coming from, he was a New Yorker. He taught me one thing that he said you are true and tied to, and that is your home teams. He said you cheer on your home teams regardless of anything. My dad has lived in Miami, I don't even know how long now, and he is still a diehard Yankee. He's still a diehard Jets fan, and he is still a diehard Knicks fan. Now, has he rooted for the Dolphins, the Heat, the Marlins while he's been down here? Yes, he has. But at his root, he is still a New Yorker no matter how long he's been here. And, a long-awaited intro into this, but we really need to talk about what is happening with Derek Jeter and the Miami Marlins. Now, like I said, I was a Marlins fan. I was a Florida Marlins fan. Then they became the Miami Marlins, and they got my favorite player, which was Jose Reyes. I loved Jose Reyes. I thought he was the best shortstop in baseball at the time. I thought that Derek Jeter was starting to fall off a little bit, and I thought that, his time as the best shortstop was up. And I thought there was a new guy in New York, and it was Jose Reyes. I thought Jose Reyes was the guy that was going to lead the Mets to a World Series, at least in terms of, I don't know, there was just some false hope in me, right? And then he got signed by the Marlins. And I was like, man, Jose Reyes signed by the Marlins. I get to see Jose Reyes and not have to root for the Mets. I can root for the Marlins again. Like, I was happy because I would only go to Marlins games if they were playing the Mets because I was a Mets fan and I did like the Marlins, but I liked them because they were my home team, not more than that at the time. And then they got Jose Reyes, and I was extremely excited. I was happy. Then they traded him away. And now I understand that stuff didn't really work out the way that it should have. But in my mind, it was just yet another fire sale, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I kind of took myself out of baseball and took myself out of really liking it and watching it. I watched the year that the Mets went to the World Series, and then we screwed up. Besides that, I haven't really wanted to watch. I watched the Cubs series when they won, and then I watched, I don't even remember who won the World Series. The Astros. I watched the final 3 games of the Astros series, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to root for the Marlins, and with everything that's happened with freaking Jeffrey Lourier, and now it's Derek Jeter. I was having a conversation with one of my professors, and super good guy, super nice guy, great human being. He's a New Yorker himself. He works now in Miami. He's eventually going to go back to Philly, where his wife and daughter are. So he's eventually, I think at the end of summer A or B or whatever it is, he will be going back to Philadelphia. And the dude, super great guy, super nice guy. And what he told me when the Marlins were bought by Derek Jeter, he said, God just bought the Marlins. And I understood. I said, he's a Yankees fan, all right? I got to take it for what it is. He's a Yankees fan. I'll just say, okay, well, if God bought the Marlins, what is he going to do then? Because we've heard all this stuff about Giancarlo Stanton getting traded. And look, I'm one of the people who can admit to you that Giancarlo Stanton, he's had injury issues. The dude can belt it. I mean, he can freaking hit. And he improved a lot this year from the past years of just being a slugger and having a really bad, what is batting average, to what he is now. And he's had injury issues, and this could be better for the Marlins, and this could be so many things for the Marlins. But, with all that being said, with all of it being said, it comes down to what is the issue with Giancarlo Stanton, and it is his contract. They backloaded his contract. They backloaded it heavy. And it was great. At the time, even me, I said, they got Giancarlo Stanton 13 years for only $325 million. Now, that's a lot of money. It is. You know, us NFL guys, we're not really used to that amount of money being dealt out into a contract, especially those amount of years. But for a talent like his at the time, I'm pretty sure there was offers that could have gotten him a lot more for a lot less years, which could have put him in a position to kind of write the path to his own future, which he eventually did. Now, Derek Jeter trading him to the Yankees, that's a whole nother story of collusion and BS and all this other stuff. Then you trade Marcell Ozuna. Well, first you deal D. Gordon. Then you deal Giancarlo Stanton. And the D. Gordon thing for me came out of nowhere, because I heard about Ozuna, Yelich, and Giancarlo Stanton getting traded. I thought that was going to happen no matter what. But the D. Gordon thing came out of nowhere for me. I mean, that just came out of nowhere. And then you trade Stanton, then you trade Ozuna, and now Yelich is apparently the guy you're going to build around. And now JT Realmuto, who probably one of the best young catchers in baseball, has reportedly requested a trade. It's like, can we do anything right ever? Can we ever write the path for the Marlins where there's something that they do right? I mean, I just don't quite understand it. And this has been, probably 8 minutes now, 7 minutes and 32 seconds of me rambling on about the Marlins. But, as someone who sees people who love the Marlins, and when I say love the Marlins, I mean love the Marlins. To see them, there's a kid that goes to the after school care, and I know he freaking loves the Marlins. Loves baseball, kid's great at baseball, everything like that. And I know he loves the Marlins. And I'm sure that he probably understands it and everything like that. But how are you going to have a little kid, man, loves baseball, and now you get to see bang, 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 all three of the stars of his team traded just like that? This team, the Marlins team, was a very young and talented team. Now, did they have the pitching to do anything? No, not really. But besides that, it was a young and talented team that with the right pitching could go from meh to possibly, we can make the playoffs. And it hurts me because, seeing other people around, former volunteers that used to work with us, just people around walking down MDC, you can see people wearing Marlins hats. You can go around the area where the stadium is, and there's still, after all the BS that's happened with the stadium, there's still fans there for the Marlins. All this stuff. Sometimes the city of Miami, they send us out to, every summer they do something for either the employees, or you can do employees and some kids, where they will send you to a Marlins game. They put you in a nice suite. I've done it 2 years now, where it was we go on a city of Miami bus, and it's a couple of us counselors, and some kids and some volunteers. And I know we love it. I know the kids absolutely love it. And they put you in a suite. And even though the Marlins haven't been great the past 2 years, you got to see the stadium wasn't full, but there was still a great amount of fans there. At least in my eyes, I could see a good amount of fans there. And to see the excitement on certain kids' faces where it was a point of young, like Stan's having this great year, and they get to go sit in a suite for a night with free food, and they have a beautiful view where they can possibly see him hit. Now, we lost that game. I don't remember who we played. We lost the game. But for them to have that opportunity is great, you know. But how many kids are going to continue want to do that? How many parents are going to continue want to... I mean, tickets are probably going to be like, what, $20 to go to a game? But how many people are really going to want to go see a Marlins game knowing that they're doing this again 3 times in 15 years? No, 3 times in like 3 times in 20 years. 3 times in 2 decades, the Marlins have done a fire sale. 3rd time, probably going to lose their fan base.